everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective. And we are here today. It is the end of the week. It's Friday. And I'm only going to have one guest on the podcast today because this is a special podcast. I'm excited about this podcast. And if you are in the Fort Bend County area in real estate, you'll probably recognize the guest on the podcast. But I always start by saying that if you're a real estate agent or a vendor that operates in Fort Bend County and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or send me an email at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. I get a lot of responses, so calendar's booked out through to April, but I'll be definitely able to get you on the podcast. And I always like to thank the people that make this possible, which is Jennifer Smitis, the area vice president, Caitlin Korner, Devaney Devon, Kate Cannon in the Richmond office, and now Van Nguyen, my escrow officers here in both offices, and the support staff, the processors, funders, front desk ladies. Couldn't do the podcast if it wasn't for the team, so thank you very much. So we're going to get started here. This is episode number 85. Look, she corrected me. I like that. Good job. 85. And so my guest today is she's a new friend of mine. She's new to my world. About 2 weeks ago, she was a competitor. But
we're on the same team now.
Her name is Van Nguyen. She is a seasoned, experienced escrow officer that just recently came back to the Stewart Title family. And so I wanted to have her on and let everybody know that she's back.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be back with Stewart Title.
And so tell us about how long have you been in real estate? How many years of experience do you have?
I've been in title over 20 years. 15 of those years was with Stewart Title.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So she took a little vacation and she came back. Being in, what were you've been in title for about 20 years. What were you doing before you got into title?
Something totally different. I was doing nails.
Oh. Well, I was hoping you wouldn't say you were doing hair because I can help you.
No, nails. And then I was doing paralegal work at a small fee attorney law firm, working on, civil, family, personal injury cases, stuff like that.
All right.
Small traffic court cases.
So with your 20 plus years experience, what are some of the things about title that you love working in title?
My favorite part is helping buyers get into their dream home and trying to make it as smooth as possible. But my actually favorite part is fixing problems.
Okay, well, which is a lot of what title companies do.
Correct.
We fix the problems that are connected to the property so it can get bought or sold.
Yes, correct.
Now let's flip the coin over. What is it about title that you wish you could change? You don't have to name names or anything, but there's got to be something you're like, every time it happens, it's like, ugh. Really?
Well, you know what? To be honest, every transaction is different, so it just depends on the transaction and the people you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, the problem is we get a lot of inexperienced realtors that don't understand why we ask for certain things, and when we try to explain to them, they kind of get offensive. Mm-hmm. And it's not that we're trying to fix them or educate them. I just want them to understand why we're doing it. But a lot of them do take it the wrong way. Yeah,
there's a reason why we do everything that we have to do.
Correct.
And most of it's not because Caitlin, the manager, said so. It was because the state of Texas said to do it.
Yes, we're just following state guidelines and, the Department of Insurance guidelines. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to give the clients a hard time. It's not our intention. And most of the time we're asking because we're trying to resolve it as smoothly as possible.
Mm-hmm. And then what are some things that you can tell real estate agents, new agents, seasoned agents, in between, it doesn't matter, that they should either prepare for or expect when using a title service or a title company, or specifically you?
A lot of times, what title experts do is when we get a contract, when we get the commitment in, we have to dig. So a lot of times, the questions might be very detailed, very deep, and I understand that sometimes the clients don't want to give that information, but we have to have it in order to get it closed. And so we just ask that, the clients assist us in getting the information that we ask
Be
for
flexible
quickly.
and open-minded, and understand that there's a reason why we're asking you these
Correct.
questions. Is there anything that, as an escrow officer, in your experience, that if you had the ability to, you would like to change?
I haven't thought about that.
No more fees. No, that's not what I mean. Well, I mean, there's in every industry, in every profession, there's always something that people would like to change or wish they didn't have to do or whatever. But
We need more fees, actually. We don't get paid a lot. We're regulated by the state. And I know that a lot of times it may look like we're charging a lot, but it's all regulated by the state. And we do have clients that try to negotiate those fees, and we really can't change those fees.
they're not set by Stewart Title.
Correct, except
So
for the escrow fee.
That's something that people ask all the time. If I go, shouldn't the title fee for a property, no matter what title company they go to, shouldn't it be the same?
It's all set by the state. So
Exactly.
in Texas, it does not matter which title company you go to. The title fees will always be the same, except for the escrow fee.
And tell everybody what does a title company actually do when they bring us a contract because they're buying or selling a house? Why are they bringing us the contract?
They are trying to get peace of mind to be protected against any title losses or any title claims that might arise after closing, after they purchase it. But they have to understand that title insurance we do not cover anything that happens after the purchase. It's anything before the purchase. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Right. And is it a good idea to buy or sell a house without title insurance?
No, I definitely recommend do not purchase any real estate without title insurance.
What are some of the examples of things that can come up to bite them in the butt if they don't?
A lot of times there's dead heirs. Maybe the owner that originally owned the property passed away, and they just kept handing it down to the kids without any deeds filed of record. But when they try to go to sell it, we have to go all the way back to the original owner. And they don't understand that because that person's deceased, we have to go into details and see who all the heirs are, who had rights to the property. So that might come back, or there's missing liens that were missed and never paid. We have to make sure those are paid.
Maybe like a AC company put a lien against the house because you didn't pay
for some repairs.
Yeah.
Or they installed something, or they built a pool, and now there's a lien. Taxes. HOA liens.
Oh, yeah, God, that's a big one.
Yes.
And then there are examples of title transfers and sales of properties with title that can get kind of ugly.
Nasty.
Yeah, nasty, like divorces.
Divorces, correct. Missing heirs. Sometimes they'll come back and said, hey, I'm entitled to part of that house.
Yeah, when you haven't heard from them for 20 years.
Yes.
But they found out the house was being sold.
Even adopted children, as long as they were adopted by the owner, they're still considered heirs in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Okay. Tell everybody why you came back to Stewart Title.
The one thing I really missed about Stewart Title was the knowledgeable underwriters and examiners that, I used to work with, and the previous companies that I had been with, they're not as good as Stewart Title's underwriters and examiners, in my opinion. And we have a really good tax expert, Hugo Garcia.
Yeah. And Stewart Title is the oldest title company that exists, right?
Yes.
So we opened our first doors in Galveston
Mm-hmm.
in 1893. That office is still there in the same building.
Yes.
And
I've
there's
been there.
you have me too.
Yes.
And there's a display case with the first contract they ever closed there too.
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's what I hear. So, and what a lot of people don't know too is Stewart Beach was named Stewart Beach
Because
after Stewart Title. So, and
that's
I didn't.
nice to know.
I didn't know that until I got here myself.
Oh.
So,
See,
yeah.
I've been with Stewart over 15 years. I didn't know it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You learned something new on.
Yes,
Kevin's
you
Corner.
learn something new every day, especially in the title industry.
Yeah. So, when a real estate agent sends over a contract, what can they expect from you? What's the next step in the process?
So when I handle a transaction, the first thing they'll get from me is a thank you email and congratulate them on, their new contract. And then I'll send the buyer and the buyer's agent instructions on how to deliver that earnest money to our office and give them different options on how to do it. And then after that, I'll send out the receipted contract once we receive the earnest money. And within a few days, I'll follow with the commitment and tell them what's needed. I'll check the contract and tell them if there's anything that's needed up front.
Right. Okay. And the next question I had, I just lost my train of thought. But if someone sends a contract and they haven't immediately got a response from you, they will, correct?
Yes.
They don't need to freak out.
Yes. I try to respond to all my messages and emails within the same day.
Okay.
Yes.
And how does somebody get a hold of you?
The best way to contact me is via email, but they can always call the office. And
What's your email address?
van.nguyen@stewart.com.
Spell Win.
Nguyen.
I'm very surprised. You didn't say anything. I got it right on the flyer?
Yes, I saw it.
Oh, my goodness. That's a hard last name to spell.
Yes, it is.
Spell. So, and it's common. It's like Smith.
Yes, correct.
So the last thing I want you to do is I want everybody to know that one of the reasons why I'm excited about her being here, not only that she's got all the experience and has a lot of connections, but she also speaks Vietnamese. So say something in Vietnamese to all your Vietnamese clients out
Xin
there.
chào mọi người. Em tên là Vân Nguyễn. Em mới trở lại văn phòng Stewart Title hôm thứ Hai tuần này.
I don't know what she said.
I told them, hello everyone, my name is Van Nguyen. I just came back to Stewart Title this past
Awesome.
Monday.
Okay, great. So I wanted to introduce the whole world to her. Everybody in Fort Wayne County probably already knows her, but now she's back with Stewart Title. Thank you very much for coming back over to Stewart Title, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm really excited to come back to Stewart Title, but I'm more excited to be in this Sugar Land area and the Fort Bend area.
Awesome.
But I do service all over Houston.
Yeah, and if there's anybody out there that either likes me, likes Stewart Title, likes Van, and the property is not in Fort Bend County, it doesn't matter. Send her the contract, and she'll go to where it needs to be.
Correct.
We can close it in a Starbucks. We can close it at the house. We can close it wherever you want to via mobile closing or courtesy closing.
Yes, majority of the time I drive to the clients to do the closing if they cannot come to the office. But if it's impossible for me due to schedule or the time, then we usually do a mobile notary, or they can also sign online if it's a cash transaction. But usually on a loan transaction, the lender requires it wet signed, so it has to be with a mobile notary.
Awesome. So she can handle pretty much anything, guys. Anywhere in the city of Houston, and she speaks two languages. She's working on Mandarin, but we're not going to put her to the test today. So thank you very much for being on the podcast. I appreciate it. This has been Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, episode number 85. Again, if you're a real estate agent or a vendor in the area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call at 832-654-0527. And again, thank you to Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Korner, Devaney Devon, Van Nguyen, and Kate Cannon in Richmond. Couldn't do the podcast without you guys. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.